Would you date to marry, or are you just dating to hook up?
Well, I don't want to get married, so in the Western world, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to divorce, it's just the family court system is stacked against men. Men fare really bad in divorce, so I don't see the benefit of getting married. I could be monogamous with someone long term. I don't need the government involved. Divorce is just not good.
That's like a lifelong talking stage.
How's that?
You don't want to
That's
get
not-
married because you don't want to get divorced. Why not just like work towards a really good marriage? You don't have to get divorced.
50% of marriages end in
I
divorce.
don't think those odds are too bad. You wouldn't flip a coin for the love of your life?
If I was in an airplane and I was skydiving and there's a 50% chance that the parachute doesn't work, I'm not taking that bet.
Imagine waking up one morning to the realization that everything you've worked for, your family, your love, your future, just crumbled. The person you thought would be by your side forever is now walking away. But here's the shocking truth. It's happening more often than you think. And it's not always because of what you think. In this video, we're about to uncover a truth about divorce that nobody talks about. Why women leave good men. Trust me, you'll want to stay until the end because you may find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about relationships. So, buckle up, because we're diving deep. Is it really possible for women to leave the good ones? And if so, why? Stay tuned. This might just change the way you think about love and relationships forever. The myth of perfect relationships. You've probably heard it a million times. A good man is hard to find. We've all seen movies that portray the perfect relationship. The charming man, the happy couple, a home filled with laughter. It all looks so ideal. But here's the catch. Just because a man is good doesn't mean he's right for her. A lot of women, even those who have good men, feel an emotional disconnect over time. You see, relationships aren't just about being good. They're about being good for each other. And when that connection fades, or the man isn't meeting her emotional needs, something happens. She begins to question everything. Here's where it gets tricky. Women tend to leave when the emotional bond isn't strong enough, even if he's a good provider or father. And I'm not talking about cheating or abuse. I'm talking about something far more subtle. Do you think you're doing everything right, but your partner still feels distant? You're not alone. Now, let's talk about something else that's going to shake you. What happens when the emotional gap becomes too wide? The silent buildup of resentment. One of the most dangerous enemies in any relationship is unspoken resentment. You may think everything is fine. You might think, I'm doing all the right things. Why is she unhappy? But what you don't see is the slow, silent erosion of trust and respect. Here's the hard truth. Resentment builds up when someone feels unheard, invisible, or neglected, emotionally or otherwise. The worst part? It's invisible to you. You might think she's just tired, or she's going through a phase. But trust me, resentment doesn't give any warning before it explodes. And here's where it gets really scary. Sometimes women stay in these relationships for years, quietly seething, because they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to feel like the bad guy. But in the back of their mind, they're planning their escape. And when they finally leave, it's a wake-up call. Boom. They didn't feel heard, understood, or emotionally connected. And now, they're gone. What if the real reason you're not connecting is something simple, but also something huge that you're missing? Let's explore that. The danger of losing yourself in the relationship. When you're in a long-term relationship, it's easy to lose yourself. You become so focused on being the perfect partner, the one who's always supportive, always there, always sacrificing, that you forget to nurture yourself. This happens to both men and women. But here's the kicker. When a woman feels like she's lost herself in the relationship, resentment starts to build again. And when she reaches the point where she's sacrificed everything, her career, her identity, her own needs, to keep the relationship going, she'll eventually hit a breaking point. And at that moment, she's not thinking about the good man she's married to. She's thinking about the woman she used to be. the one with her own passions, her own dreams. This is where the shift happens. And this is where most men get blindsided. You're wondering, but I've been a good man, a loyal man. But the truth is, you weren't a partner to her. You were just a placeholder in her life story. And once she realizes that, the relationship is over. But what if I told you there's a way to keep that from happening to you? Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal the key to preventing it: self-awareness and communication. Here's the silver lining in all of this. You can avoid becoming that man who gets blindsided by divorce. The key? Self-awareness and communication. You need to ask yourself, are you really listening? Are you seeing her for who she is, beyond the role of wife or mother? Are you actively participating in her emotional world? If you're not connected emotionally, if you're not checking in with her, understanding her needs, and communicating your own, then you're on the fast track to becoming the good man who was left behind. It's time to make a shift. Stop assuming everything's okay just because you're doing your best to provide. Relationships aren't just about the big gestures. They're about the little moments where you show your partner, day in and day out, that they matter, that you matter. Are you ready to stop being just a good man and start being a great partner? Let's talk about how.
Women initiate about 75% of divorces. There are multiple reasons for that. But one reason is that women are higher in trait neuroticism. They're more sensitive to negative emotion. So they feel more units of negative emotion subjectively per unit of stress. That's a way of thinking about it. And so they get unhappy faster. The world is more dangerous for them in some sense physically, but I think more importantly, they are going to bear primary responsibility for dependent infants. And if you have an infant depending on you, you should react to the world as if it's more dangerous than you might if it was just you navigating through it.
Conclusion. Now that you understand why women leave even the best men, the question is, what are you going to do about it? Relationships take effort, time, and understanding. If you want to build something lasting and beautiful, you've got to work on it every single day. But here's the good news. You can be the man who keeps her around. Not by being perfect, but by being real and connected. If you want to learn more about how to actually navigate love and relationships, especially when it comes to dating, make sure to check out my other videos on this channel. The next one is packed with powerful tips on making better dating decisions, avoiding heartbreak, and ultimately building that peaceful, fulfilling life you're striving for. Click the link on the screen to watch now. And remember, your relationship is in your hands. Let's make it last. And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.